Hey, it's NPR's Book of the Day. I'm Andrew Limbong. Before we get into today's show, I want to tell you about a new offering we have here at Book of the Day. We have now launched Book of the Day Plus, which is a new way to support our work here at NPR. When you sign up, you get access to a special feed where you can listen to our new episodes sponsor-free. Nothing is changing about our regular show, but Book of the Day Plus is another way to help us keep giving you the books coverage you love. So please do sign up. We really appreciate it. You can find out more at plus.npr.org/book of the day. All right, on to today's show. The middle grade writer, Alicia D. Williams, is on the pod today. Her new book, Mid-Air, centers around this 13-year-old kid named Isaiah. And when I asked her to describe him, I couldn't help but think that if I were 13, we would have sat at the same lunch table together talking about new pop punk bands and knowing we were commiserating over the other kids without actually saying anything. Because the main issue Williams tries to tackle in Mid-Air is how boys, and in Isaiah's case, particularly black boys, are disincentivized from sharing their feelings with their parents or each other. My interview with Alicia D. Williams after the break.
Support for NPR and the following message come from FX's The Veil, starring Elizabeth Moss. FX's The Veil is an international spy thriller that follows two women as they play a deadly game of truth and lies on the road from Istanbul to Paris and London. One woman has a secret, and the other has a mission to reveal it before thousands of lives are lost. FX's The Veil, now streaming only on Hulu.
Get a bunch of 13-year-olds together, and you can pretty easily see where that natural urge to send it comes from. To jump the big jump, to skate the big ramp, to bike down the big slope. Because it's cool to show off how brave and daring you are. You don't want to look like a baby in front of your friends, right? But the other side of that is, who can you show those more vulnerable feelings to? When you feel sad or scared, it can be hard to figure out where to put those feelings, especially for boys. Alicia D. Williams' new book for young readers explores that dilemma. It's called Mid-Air, and she joins us now. Welcome to All Things Considered.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being a part of your show.
So Mid-Air centers around a kid named Isaiah. He's just about to enter high school. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yes, Isaiah is one of those sensitive, gentle boys, but like so many other sensitive, gentle boys, he hides that part. He loves plant life. He loves rock and roll music, which can get him attacked for being black, not being black enough. And he loves, as he discovers, nail polish of all things. He hides this part of himself because, as many boys are taught, be strong, be tough, don't cry. And as a 13-year-old navigating this world, he learns to process his emotions.
Yeah, I just want to say he's at that age where cultural signifiers can mean so much, right? He skateboards, and like you said, he listens to rock bands. He does like the classic stuff, like Led Zeppelin, to more modern pop punk bands like Meet Me at the Altar. He likes certain clothes. How do you sort of pick and choose what he's into?
Setting up this character was so difficult because I wanted to tap into that boy that we don't often see. We don't often see him in literature, and we especially don't often see him in popular culture, especially not a person of color at this age. So I tapped into this nerdy kid who loves all of these things that are quirky. And so tying into the non-traditional black kid, I think of, even though my daughter is definitely a girl, she was that quirky kid who was on the outside of a blackness. She got it all the time from my parents, my family, like, she's not black enough. She speaks too proper. She does this and that. She introduced me to rock music and, of course, K-pop and all these other genres. And I thought, oh, this is that kid who loves it and hides these things. So building out that world and all of those grasps. And so developing Isaiah encompassed all of these different worlds and all of these people that I knew in real life as well as in pop culture.
Yeah. And, he has these two friends, Drew and Darius. And early on in the book, Darius dies. And I won't say why, but he dies. And Isaiah and Drew have a hard time talking to each other about it. I was wondering if you could read the poem School for us.
I can. School. When the classroom door opens, I look up. halfway expecting Darius to stroll in with a slick smirk on his face. But no, it's never gonna be him. Ever. I linger at his locker, waiting for him to run up, spouting about some anime move he did in PE. But no, he never comes. At lunch, me and Drew talk about what we might do after school. Then, one of us will look to Darius's empty seat, then quickly turn away like we didn't. Because no, he's not there.
It seems like if anyone should be talking about this loss, it's the two of them. But what's getting in the way?
The first thing that's getting in the way is that they're both taught in different ways how to express emotion. In Isaiah's home, he has his dad. And although his dad teaches him, don't cry, be tough, he also gives him agency to say it's okay to feel sad. But Drew doesn't have that. He has to be tough, but he has a lot on his shoulders and trying to keep his family afloat. So they're processing their lives in different ways, but they're also processing grief in different ways. And I also wanted to speak to how boys process grief. We girls are taught that it's okay to cry. We girls are taught it's okay to talk about it and reflect about it and write about it in all these different outlets. But boys aren't given that same permission. And I really want to explore how one like Isaiah, who has a little bit of softness and sensitivity, that he needs to talk about it. But Drew, so guarded, it's like, you don't even know who I am. If I tell you who I am, you won't be able to handle it. And these boys represent the extremes of wanting to talk about it and not wanting to talk about it or acknowledge it.
This is a story told in verse. Why choose poetry over prose for this?
I did not choose poetry over prose. Not initially. When I wrote this story, the first few drafts came out in prose. Definitely in prose. I was really trying to figure out who this boy was, and I overrode it, and I realized after these events, he became inward. So I said, okay, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling him. There's something missing here. So I got off the computer and got an old school technique of paper and pen. And the words came out first person, present tense, and they came out staccato and rhythmic. And I knew he was withholding something. And once I switched the tools in which I wrote the story, the voice changed with it. It's almost like I was freeing Isaiah to speak to me in the way he wanted to tell his story.
That was Alicia D. Williams. Her book is called Midair. Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What does it mean to be Black in America? In NPR's Black Stories, Black Truths, a collection of stories as varied, nuanced, and dynamic as Black experiences, you'll hear it means everything. Search NPR Black Stories, Black Truths wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Allianz Travel Insurance. With benefits kicking in as close as 100 miles from home, you can protect your travel plans whether you're driving across state lines or flying cross-country. Learn more at AllianzTravelInsurance.com. This message comes from NPR sponsor Allianz Travel Insurance. Don't get caught without emergency medical coverage on an international trip. Learn how Allianz Travel Insurance can protect your trip from the unexpected at AllianzTravelInsurance.com.